this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Florida. And as you can see, I have been working on my wall hanging. And I have added the papyrus thicket, I have started working on the figures, I have colored in the lotuses, but nothing really further than that so far, but I thought I would share it with you and let you see how it's coming along. And I think you'll agree that the composition makes a lot more sense now that the papyrus thicket is here. Because formerly the birds were kind of sitting in midair, it didn't really make any sense unless you knew that this element was supposed to be here. And as I explained before, this is basically an interpretation of a tomb painting from the tomb of Nebamun, an 18th dynasty nobleman. It's very close to the original, it's not identical. And so as I'm filling in these details and repainting it, it'll be similar to the original, but it's not going to be identical because the actual interpretation is not identical in the first place, so there's no point in trying to paint it identically, but it will be fairly close to what you would see in other Egyptian tomb paintings. And this is a very frequent scene from Egyptian tombs, and there are many different ones that you can find if you look them up very quickly online. Look for ancient Egypt papyrus, and you'll probably find a number of scenes of the deceased hunting in the papyrus thicket. And you'll see, for example, that the papyruses pretty much always look the same, but they're interpreted differently. The colors may be different, the arrangements are different. And so as we work on this, you'll see that I fill it in a way that's very similar to the painting from the tomb of Nebamun, but not identical. Now, on to today's question. Our question today comes to us from Quizculus Mexicanus. And Quizculus Mexicanus writes to tell us that their family is Christian, and they have never thought about the existence of other deities or ancestor veneration or anything like this. And Quizculus Mexicanus has the question, where are the deities and the ancestors for these family members? Are they simply dormant around them because there's no exchange of energy? Do they pass over them and go and work with other people who do exchange energy with them, or are they present in the Christian system under different names? And my answer to this, of course, comes from my own point of view, and I'm not what is called a hard polytheist. And a hard polytheist, of course, might have a very different answer, but that would have to be on their vlog. In my vlog, I would say that when we talk about deity, when we talk about the deities, I believe that all deities are deity. All gods are God, all goddesses are goddess. And all of it is inherent in all of creation. This is part of what we mean by as above, so below. The creative agent is expressed in everything that is created. Therefore, deity is inherent in every person, everything, every conception. And you can find that root cause of existence through literally anything that exists. It will mirror to you the nature of deity. And all the different names and faces that humankind has had for deity are equally valid and equally incomplete as well. Now, having said that, where are the different deities then for your family members? Well, the different deities are there in Christian worship if they look for them. They're not necessarily there in a way that would be iconographically the same, but I believe that you can find deity as much in Christianity as anywhere else, and there are many people who do, and many people who are very obviously spiritually well connected who are Christians, as well as Jews and Muslims and pagans and everything else, just as there are many who are not. And as is often said, there are good people and bad people in all religions, there are highly spiritual people and non-spiritual people in all religions, and deity is equally present and equally non-present in all religions. So, as to deity, that's what I would say. Now, you might find those different concepts of deity under all kinds of different names and not necessarily always even looked at as deity, but I would say that it's there, and of course it depends on the kind of Christian, how you'd see it reflected. Now, as for the ancestors, that's a different question. And I believe that the ancestors are always potentially active, whether the person is aware of them or not. In Christian terms, ancestors are often described as being guardian angels. They're often spoken about as looking down from heaven on their descendants. So there is very much an attitude of ancestor veneration among Christians using this very different terminology. And if you talk to them, you'll find they often have very similar ideas to what we describe as ancestor veneration. The practices are a bit different, but the ideas are the same. And certainly the interaction with the ancestors is very similar, ultimately the same. However, ancestors don't always interact, and in many cases you really have to build the relationship with them in order to have that interaction. It does vary from one to another. It also depends on your expectations and your needs. I was taught that you really do have to build that relationship, but if you do, it will be strong. But it also depends on the relationship during life, and if we're talking about ancestors who are long dead or recently deceased. And I would say they can always potentially be present, and again, they may be called by many different names. And the person might not even have an awareness that it's an ancestor, but the beloved ones are always there. So I would say that for your family members who are Christian, both the deities and the ancestors are right there, just as they are for everyone else, but they see them differently. So that would be my answer to that, and we have once again come to the end of our week, and it's time to vote for the viewer's favorite question. And of course we have 5 questions. And the questions are Avatar from Lil Quinn, which has to do with the meaning of the term avatar, Imperial Stormtroopers from Draconum Blade, which has to do with cybernetics and humanity, Out of Context from Cirque, which has to do with interpreting signs and omens without a context, Attack of the Psychic Leeches from Magenta, which has to do with how people naturally exchange energy, and of course our question today from Quizculus Mexicanus about the ancestors. So please vote for the one that you like best. Please vote on the Facebook pages where the vlog appears, in the comments section here at Magic TV, or send it directly to me, Reverend Don Lewis at donlewishp@aol.com. And I will look forward to seeing which is the viewer's favorite question. And I want to thank you for another lovely week, and until next time, may you blessed be. Pray for peace. Pray for love. Pray for stability. Pray for the nation where you live. Pray for the world. Reverend Don's Omnibus of Incantations and Invocations for All Occasions from witchwillstore.com. This massive compendium of spells and artwork was created by me and Marianne Kay and is available to you to use in any way that you would like from witchwillstore.com. Check it out today.